Hey, what's up everybody? Jumpin here, and today I'm going to be continuing my series, All My Builds. Today I'm going to be doing all my Infiltrator builds, which I think will be probably the most popular out of all these videos, just because everybody loves Infiltrators so much. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up in this video right away is that I'm testing out a newer mic. I've recently got two new mics, and before you ask, my old mic that broke, it broke, guys. The one I used to use for Mass Effect a while back, I don't have that no more. It's broken. I see a lot of comments talking about my mic quality, so hopefully this one is a little bit better. Don't really know. You let me know. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Alright, for the first one, we're going to be doing the Human Infiltrator. Now, I've showed you two builds, and today I'm going to be using, well, there's two guns I recommend. Let's just put it that way. I recommend the N7 Crusader and the Claymore, if I can ever find that. The reason why I recommend these two guns is because, for one, the Claymore is extremely good with the Cryoblast for weakening the armor / they take more damage. And the Crusader, this is the only build that I like to use the Crusader on. So that is something you guys got to think about. It's up to you which gun you want. But either way, I do like these two particular shotguns more than any other gun for the Human Infiltrator. Alright, so now for the build. This is a pure power build. So I like Tactical Cloak. And then I like Recharge Speed, Bonus Power. Recharge Speed will be necessary for a build like this, just because if you're going to use the Crusader, it's extremely heavy. If you're going to use the Claymore, it's extremely heavy, so keep that in mind. Bonus power is nice though as well, just for the Cryoblast. Now for Cryoblast, I like Radius, Cryo Explosion, Frozen Vulnerability. This is one of the best debuff powers in the entire game. 25% more damage and 50% weakened armor. Moving on for Sticky Nades, I like damage on the Sticky Nades. I like armor damage because you could just strap on either the shotgun nade gear, don't know what it's called, or you can strap on the grenade capacity 5, so you don't need extra grenades. And then the final one is Proxy Trap. I like Proxy Trap because this gives it more of a proxy mine effect. You throw it out in a group of enemies, it will instantly blow up and deal a lot of damage to those enemies. Now for the Alliance training, I actually do like damage and capacity just for the bonus damage and weight. Just in case, I mean, I hate sitting through a very long recharge, but with Tactical Cloak, you really don't have to worry about that much, but there's always a chance that you might, so just keep that in mind. And then the next one's going to be power damage, 15%, and then weapons damage. Alright, moving on to the next Infiltrator, which is the Silurian Infiltrator, which is probably will always be my favorite Infiltrator. There's a couple ways you can set them up. I like them with a shotgun personally, but this particular build I have is for a sniper rifle, and it's my only Infiltrator sniper rifle build. So that's the reason why I chose it. My favorite sniper in the game is the N7 Valiant, but because of shield gating being taken away, if you guys don't know this, they did this. Because of shield gating being taken away from Gold and Platinum, well, it's not totally gone, but it's gone enough to the point where the Javelin now can one-shot enemies. So keep that in mind. If you guys want to run around with a strong gun like the Javelin, it is a lot better now because shield gating has been seriously toned down for Gold and Platinum. But overall though, I think the N7 Valiant is my favorite one, just because I like the feel to it. I just like the gun a lot. Now for the powers, I like damage, recharge speed, and sniper rifle damage because it's a sniper rifle build. Proxy mine, I like to leave this at 5 with radius and damage taken for debuffing bosses. For energy drain, I like radius, drain, and damage. And for Silurian Operative, I like weapons damage, power damage, weapons damage, and I like to leave my fitness at 3, just because I like the extra shields and health, which is nice. Alright, moving on is the Klee Female. Now, she is definitely considered to be one of them. I don't know, it's hard to explain. I don't know which one of these would be like the most underused Infiltrator. Every Infiltrator is good in the game, just because they're Infiltrators. But in my opinion, out of all of them, this is the one I don't like that much. So keep that in mind. And I always forget to bring this up in the beginning, but if you want to see any of these gameplays, I have gameplays for all these characters. You will find it in the annotations or in the description. So just, if you want to see a gameplay with any of these people, just look through the description and click the link and you can watch gameplays. So that is the nice part about this series. Now the gun I actually recommend for her is the Ruger Carbine, just because I don't know, I like it just because it's a coring weapon and it's a great weapon, so why not? So I like to use piercing and extended barrel for that. Now for the build, I like just damage, and I have recharge speed on it. I don't know why. I probably wouldn't go for this, to be honest, again, but I do have it on there. I would probably put the point that I would use for that into more fitness, so just keep that in mind. Now for the sticky nades, same thing as before, damage, armor piercing, proxy mine, or proxy trap. For sabotage, I like backfire, I like exploding hack, and I like tech vulnerability, just to help your teammates out, and for your own tech burst. I like, for the coring defender, I like weapons damage, power damage, and weapons damage, and like I said, I like the fitness at 3, but I would probably go to 4, and not go for the recharge speed. That's just what I would do. Alright, now moving on for the Gap Infiltrator, who is by far the best Infiltrator. There's no question in my mind. The best Infiltrator in the game is the Gap Infiltrator. The weapon I recommend, well, of course, is the Piranha, because this build is like the best build ever. So, best build in the game, guys. Piranha Gap Infiltrator. It's that simple. But I always will recommend extended barrel with smart choke for more accuracy on the Piranha. Now for the build, for tactical cloak, I like damage, recharge speed, bonus power. For the proxy mine, I like radius and damage taken for debuffing. For hunter mode, I like weapons accuracy for the Piranha, rate of fire, and damage. For the network AI, I like weapons damage, power damage, weapons damage. And for fitness, I like 3 points, just for a little extra health and just a little tad extra shields. Now for the Klee Female Infiltrator, who is really good as well. The gun I'm going to recommend for him is going to be the Service Harrier, just because I don't know, I just like the Service Harrier on him because I like using the Harrier with infiltrators, and this is one of the ones I really like it on, so that's why I included it. And I will recommend the extended magazine with the extended barrel with this. Now for tactical cloak, I like damage and recharge speed. For tactical scan, I have 3 points into here. But I would say that you can reset this and not use this if you don't want it. And you can actually go for sniper rifle damage. What this does is that if you go for this, then you're always going to have the option to use any gun you want or a sniper rifle. So it's really up to you. Alright, moving on is going to be, for the arc grenades, I'm going to be using damage, electrical damage, and then armor piercing. For the Quarian Defender, I'm going to be using weapons damage, power damage, and then weapons damage. For fitness, all shields. Alright. Moving on to the last one now. I'm going to be doing the N7 Shadow. And what's awesome about this build is that this actually, well, what I want to say is that this build is actually not correct. This is not the way I would recommend building it, but I'll show it to you anyway. Slash, I'll tell you what is different. Alright, for the gun, I'm going to be using the Talon and the melee stunner, just for more, pretty much just for more melee damage. For the Shadow, I do like duration, actually. Duration is good, just for the 11 seconds. Melee damage, obviously, and bonus power. Now, the electrical slash, I would recommend not getting this at all. Just personally with me, for this Shadow Strike build, I never use it. If you're going to go for Shadow Strike, I wouldn't even recommend it. But for Shadow Strike, I definitely recommend damage for the first one, electrical damage, and for this last one, I would probably recommend Shield Drain. Just because the damage is nice, but this thing like practically one hits anyway on gold, so just keep that in mind. And if it does one hit most enemies, then yeah, you just really don't need the damage. I would prefer the Shield Drain. So keep that in mind, guys. Alright, now for the N7 Shadow, I actually go for damage and capacity and then power damage, just because that does affect the Shadow Strike. Although it's not supposed to, it does affect Shadow Strike, so keep that in mind. And for sword mastery, I go for sword damage, martial artist, and armor damage. Now, armor damage does not apply to the Shadow Strike, but it will apply to your actual melee attacks. So, heavy meleeing brutes and stuff, that will apply. So keep that in mind. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the Infiltrator builds. They are by far probably the most popular in the game. And yeah, so that's what's up. Like I said, let me know what you think of this other mic. That would be awesome. And yeah, please like this video, and that would help me out. So you guys have a nice day. Peace.